Hello and welcome back to your weekly astrology report. I'm your host, Beverly, or B for short. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Always happy to have you back. So this week we are diving into all the astrological knowings and transits from September 16th all the way through September 22nd. This week is packed with intense oppositions, a powerful full moon, which also kicks off the start of eclipse season, okay? So let's go on ahead and dive in. So grab your cozy beverage of choice and get your notepad out or get your calendar so you can mark down what each day has for us so you can capitalize on these energies, okay? So kicking off with Monday, September 16th, we have Chiron, which is the wounded healer, sitting inside of Aries currently, opposite Venus in Libra. And Venus is our planet connected to our love, our self-worth, our beauty, our relationships. So this aspect is bringing in, or focusing rather, on our emotional wounds. It's bringing those things up to the surface. So this could be a little touchy week, especially kicking off the week. We might be in our feelings, all right, on Monday or Moon Day. And this is particularly around relationships and those self-worth things, all right? And Chiron in Aries doubles down on that self-identity and the wounds connected to the identity and being able to show up and be accepted as yourself. But that often starts within before we can actually really come to a place of peace in our other or external relationships, right? So this is all coming to the surface. So it's going to highlight feelings of inadequacy, any unhealed past hurts that you've been carrying that need attention, that you've been kind of pushing to the side, because just because you have pushed it away doesn't mean it's gone, right? It's really easy to operate in a space of just trying to ignore, but it always presents itself in some other form. It never goes away. So that is really a lot of what we'll be dealing with at the top of the week and into the rest of the week. But Venus in Libra wants us to have peace. It wants us to have harmony. It wants us to have balance. So right now with this particular transit, you could be in a space of feeling torn between how you express your individuality and being accepted for that, and also maintaining harmony in your relationships. This transit really calls for you to dive in to that self-compassion, okay? Use this time to address those deeper emotional wounds and understand or seek understanding in your connections, right? There is no such thing as wishing it away, ignoring it, being distracted. It's always going to be there until you deal with it. So that is kicking off the top of the week and honestly really prepping us for Libra season, all right? So let's move into Tuesday. Tuesday, September 17th. We have the Pisces full moon at 25 degrees. And this is a partial lunar eclipse. So yes, we are now kicking off eclipse season. And we know one thing about eclipses, they're just moon energy on steroids, times 10, times 100, times 1,000, times whatever number you want to put it. It is just really in your face, and you cannot ignore the energy that comes in. Lunar eclipses forces us to look within. It's more of an internal transformation that's happening rather than an external one. And with this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, we have a lot going on with this moon in particular. Number one, it's at 25 degrees. And we always look at the numerology because that gives us another level of insight. 2 plus 5 equals 7. 7 is the number of introspection. It is the number connected to spirituality. It's connected to just really self-assessment and self-awareness, all right? So with that said, there are a lot of different things, revelations that come up with the number 7. And sometimes it's really through the lens of a hardship and internal processing that's hard, okay? And this could be some of what you're feeling. And then also the added layers of this moon energy is that Pisces is about our compassion. It's about our spirituality. It's about our imagination. It's also about where we are deluding ourselves, the illusions, the escapism tactics, the things that we can't yet grasp because it just feels elusive to us. So this is all of the themes coming in. On top of that, the moon will be conjunct Neptune, right? And Saturn in Pisces, okay? So with this Neptune and Saturn conjunction, Neptune's also going to double down on those themes of, spirituality, introspection, compassion for oneself. Saturn in Pisces is going to bring us more clarity and a push for emotional boundaries and discipline, okay? Because Saturn doesn't play. Saturn is like, no, we need to put some things in order so that we can have some structure so that we can be in a good place. And that calls for boundaries and discipline, but more so in the emotional department, okay? So Saturn and Pisces and Neptune and Pisces are going to be heavily influencing this full moon. Also, your dreams with Neptune being so close to this full moon eclipse, your dreams, your intuition, your psychic gifts and abilities, all of that is going to be really important and highlighted. So if you're getting those dreams, make sure you're writing them down. Make sure you have a dream journal. Put them in the notes section of your phone. Pay attention to the symbolism. Pay attention to anything that's coming in. If you're clairaudient, if you're, have clairvoyance, if you just get intuitive knowings, trust those promptings and don't allow your ego to get in the way of doubting what's coming to you. And again, Saturn is asking you to put those boundaries and that discipline in place. So don't skimp on this energy. Really use this to your advantage, okay? Another thing happening with this full moon is that the moon will be sextile Uranus in Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn, our earth signs, okay? So this, on top of the confusion and all the things that we're going to be dealing with the Neptune and Saturn influence, there's opportunities here for deep transformation because Pluto is that transformation. And Uranus is unexpected things that come in, unexpected insights, unexpected opportunities or situations that show us, right? And sometimes when Uranus hits us with that stuff that's unexpected, because it's unexpected, it knocks us off sometimes, right? And we just have to learn how to ride and flow with it. If you fight against it, it gets worse. If you resist, it gets worse. Just learn how to be open and be in receivership to whatever the lesson is or whatever is happening, no matter how difficult. And I know that's easier said than done at times in moments, but just remember to get out of your head and allow and get into a space of seeing it from a higher level. Get out of the feeling aspect of it, which is the subjective part, and get into more of an objective space where you can zoom out and really see it for what it is and not take it as personally. But there are those things that are coming in for that transformation, for those unexpected turn shifts and things that it needs to do to put you on the path that you need to go. It's not a punishment. It's not something that's coming in to, make you suffer and make you, put you in a particular place that is backwards. Only you yourself fighting against it can get you in that spot. But it is literally trying to push you forward on your path, align you. So allow these things to come in and ride the waves and see the bigger picture if you can. And I know it might not be as easy with a lot of the confusion and stuff that could come in if you're not grounded, but that's where you have to really rely on your spiritual gifts, your intuition, that clarity that comes from your inner peace, inner voice, inner higher self, okay? You're gonna have to tune everything else out to hear it. Also, the moon on this day, there's a lot going on with this moon, okay, is going to square Jupiter. This is tension, all right? This is tension. Jupiter sitting in Gemini, okay? So this is really trying to get us to pay attention where we are stretching ourselves too thin, where we are overindulging, especially as we're looking at the themes of Pisces and Neptune being in the mix, and that escapism and doing the things to make us feel good, to escape the other feelings that we're running away or not wanting to deal with. What are we using that for? Are we overindulging in food? Are we drinking too much? Are we playing video games too much? Are we keeping ourselves so distracted with friends and groups that we're not taking the time to be in that hermit energy, to be in that introspection, to really get those answers and clarity from within? Are you stretching yourself too thin by trying to make everybody happy? You need those boundaries put in place, aka Saturn coming in with the emotional boundaries and disciplined, right? So where are you really stretching too much and just overexerting? And that's what this square is, that tension. You're going to feel it, and it's going to be highlighted for you, and you're going to have to address it. Okay, so this is a day for you to be meditating, reflecting, and letting go of anything that is holding you back emotionally, okay? All right, so that is the Pisces full moon eclipse. Let's move on to Wednesday, September 18th, okay? We have Mercury in Virgo opposite Saturn in Pisces, all right? So this is midweek, and we're experiencing this opposition, which is going to likely create mental tension. Mercury in Virgo wants clarity. It wants precision. It wants to get into the details. It wants to line all the little pieces up in order. And Saturn in Pisces is restrictive, right? So you can find yourself in this energy overthinking, just overthinking mode, and facing delays in your communication and plans that you're trying to make, things that you're trying to think through. So this is really a time where you're going to have to practice some patience, but use the transit to organize your thoughts, because some things will take a little longer to unfold and can't really be put all the way together in this moment. You're going to have patience. You're going to have to understand that things will unfold and, come about in their own time. So use this energy the best way you can, but be aware of what is kind of at play here. All right. Also on Wednesday, September 18th, we have Black Moon Lilith in Libra, square Mars in Cancer. Now, this is going to bring some deep-seated frustrations to the surface. Lilith really represents our shadow side. It's the repressed emotions or desires we often really just suppress within ourselves. And then we have Mars, our action, right? Our the way that we move forward and go and after things that we want. And when it's in Cancer, it really channels emotions into action. So it's being moved emotionally, right? But in a very protective or a defensive way. So this is a day where you're going to have to be mindful of conflicts, especially in close relationships, because we have that Libra element. And this energy can just trigger confrontations around boundaries, around your personal power, around autonomy. These are all things that could be coming up during this square between the two. So that is something to keep in mind. Wednesday can be particularly challenging. All right, so let's move to Thursday, September 19th. We have Sun in Virgo, trine Uranus in Taurus, all right? So this is a beautiful trine, a beautiful energy between these two earth signs, the Sun and Uranus, which brings in our unexpected stuff, our innovation, our sudden breakthroughs, our positive change. Sometimes it can be positive change that happens in a way that you didn't want it to happen, but then you realize, listen, in hindsight, I'm glad it happened. But I'll just say this is a beautiful energy together, right? So the Sun in Virgo is going to ground us in those practical matters, and Uranus is going to shake us up, okay? Specifically in the areas of stability and material resources, because it's in Taurus, right? And Taurus rules over those things. So using this transit to think outside the box, find creative solutions to your everyday problems is probably one of the best uses of the energy. It's really a great day for you just embracing change and just making positive strides in your work or your personal life and those themes that are related to Taurus that we talked about, right? Your worth, your stability, your material resources, all of those things, your money. Focus on those things. So that is a nice rebound from Wednesday. All right, let's move into Friday, September 20th. We have the sun in Virgo opposite Neptune in Pisces, okay? And this opposition, again, creates a sense of fogginess or disillusionment. Like we are just, in a state of confusion this week a bit. So Neptune's influence, what it can do is like blur boundaries, it makes it hard to see or discern what is real from what's fantasy. And you just might feel really unsure of your direction. You can just, especially if you've been working hard in one particular area, like there's something that you're just really putting a lot of your energy and focus on, and you're just not seeing the immediate results of that. So you now start to doubt. You feel unsure. You feel drained. You're like, shit, should I just go in a completely different direction? But instead of really taking yourself down the spiral of thoughts, this is just a good day to pause, reflect, rest, and reconnect with your spiritual side. Like just don't really get into the space where you're making major decisions, being moved by this, or, because things are not necessarily as clear as they may, they're not as clear as they seem with this particular energy floating around. So again, we just need to know how to take a break, to step away, to just sit back, again, tap into those spiritual things within us, which are our intuition, which are our spiritual gifts and abilities that help us discern or see in a different way that's not with our physical eyes, but more with our spiritual eyes, right? And just take a chill pill and let this energy pass, because you just don't want to be a confused mess dealing with it. Let's move into Saturday, September 21st. There's quite a bit going on here. This week is kind of heavy. So we've got Sun in Virgo, trine Pluto in Capricorn. All right. So this trine is another beautiful, exchange between these earth signs. Sun, our identity, Pluto, our deep transformation. So this is a great alignment, or a powerful alignment for personal growth and development, right? So this gives you the elements of Virgo, which practical tools to take action and encourage, and then Pluto, which encourages that deep transformation. So you're putting the two together, and it's a time where you can focus on your long-term goals. You can make important changes. You can really take control of the areas in your life that really need focus and restructuring, that you need to hunker down on, right? So if you are really mindful of this, you can make it all happen. And it's happening on Saturday, or Saturn Day, which is a great day to implement this stuff. And then also on Saturday, September 21st, we have Venus in Libra square Pluto in Capricorn. All right, so this square is tension. So this creates, again, these intense emotional dynamics in relationships. And this is just kind of the theme that's playing out, not only just in eclipse season, but going into Libra season. Like this is going to be kind of a thing that's coming up for us, all right? So power struggles, control issues, hidden desires, all of that is swirling around, all right? This can bring things to the surface that you have not been willing to confront in your relationships. Remember I said earlier, just because you swept it under the rug doesn't mean it's not there, okay? Just because you pushed it down and suppressed it doesn't mean it's not there. It's still very much there, and it needs to be dealt with. So this is offering you an opportunity for deep transformation if you're willing to do the work. If you're willing to pick up the rug and see what's under there, what you've been sweeping under, right? Well, how big is this pile? And let's start to get rid of it, right? I always encourage you to lean into that and not run away from it. But again, this is here for you, whether you want to dive into it or not. It's only to help you in the long run, all right? The last transit for this day is Mercury in Virgo, square Jupiter in Gemini. So it's another day of tension. So Saturday is going to be a little heavy, right, on the energy. But this square is expanding our mental energy, but also can lead to overexhaustion or overextension very easily mentally, all right? So you might feel like, oh man, I got too many ideas going on at once. I'm just feeling overwhelmed with ideas. I'm feeling overwhelmed with the many tasks that I'm taking on, because that Jupiter in Gemini can be very scattered and wanting to do everything at the same time. So the key is to prioritize. Focus on the details without getting lost in the bigger picture. Like don't get lost in the sauce. Break it down, smaller chunks. Don't overpromise, don't overcommit, because you can easily do so under this transit. So focus on the key things, break it down into small things, and take it piece by piece by piece, all right? Moving on to our final day this week, Sunday, September 22nd. The sun has officially moved into Libra. So here we are kicking off the fall equinox. We are moving into Libra season. So we are just shifting completely from Virgo's focus, which was more so on our health, our system, our organization, our practicalities, our work, our day-to-day routines. And now we're moving into Libra, which is really all about balance, harmony, relationships. It really focuses more so on the other, and our integration with the other. So this is going to be a very interesting season, but this is a time to really seek peace, not only internally, but find balance in your work-life flow, find balance in your partnerships, and focusing on connection and everyday beauty in your life. And it's not even just like the external beauty of, oh my God, I'm going to beat my face beauty. I mean, that could be a part of it, but it's like the beauty of the little moments of life, the little things, watching the leaves turn on the tree, watching the birds splash in the water, watching the clouds float by, just the little things in life. So that is, a little intro into Libra season, and we'll dive more into that next week. But before I go, I will also say that Venus moves into Scorpio on this day as well, all right? So Venus in Scorpio is intense and passionate, all right? So it was really light, social, fun, focus on the relationships and different things and dynamics of balance while it was in Libra. But in Scorpio, it's really about that depth. It's about intimacy. It's about transformation. So the relationship tone, it just takes on a more serious note. And the superficial things that you got going on and connections and that type of stuff in your relationship sphere is just not going to work. It's not satisfying you any longer. Like, you're going to have to confront it. So it's really time to dive deep into your matters of the heart and uncover the things that lie beneath the surface. Get into the core of the truth, okay? Because Scorpio is that investigative energy. It will find the things that is lying in the deep, dark corners and depths of your soul. So that is it. That wraps up this week's astrology update. We just got a lot of transformation energy coming in this week. We've got that eclipse. We've got Venus going into Scorpio. We've got a lot of different squares and, Pluto at play. And there's just a lot going on. So remember to ground yourself, especially when your emotions run high. Just embrace the changes that come your way. Ride the waves. Don't fight it. Okay. And if you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe, give a thumbs up, rate the show if you're listening on the podcast, or even leave a comment down below, because I love reading the comments as well. Until next time, keep elevating, keep transforming, keep wanting to be better. I will see you all or talk to you all very soon. Thanks for listening.